If you are a new or stuck real estate agent, you're not failing at selling houses because you don't know how to do that. You're failing at selling houses because you do not have enough clients. One of the things that I hear most common from real estate agents all over the board is I just need to be in front of more people. And I will never forget that early in my career, I looked at this phone and I said, how do I make this thing ring? And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can get a ton of leads very fast and kickstart your career and turn it around within the next 90 days. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader and owner of Onyx Homes, and I'm going to walk through a few different steps of exactly how I coach my agents to generate leads, and they're in the same position that you are. So, all right, so here's step number one. Now, this is easy. You've heard this before, but this is open houses. Now, there is a wrong way and a right way to do open houses, but I think this is the cornerstone of any successful real estate agent. Unless you already have a tremendous amount of lead flow coming in, I think it's crazy to not spend your weekends doing open houses. So here is the fast bullet points. I have another full video breaking this down, but here are the fast bullet points on how to do a correct open house. Most real estate agents will do an open house from 1 to 3, 1 to 4. And you should be doing open houses before and after that, especially if you're not booked with the weekend showings anyway. So start your open house at 12 and end it at 5. What ends up happening is you are the first place that people go, and you are also the last place that people go. So you're going to make other people, these buyers that are just walking into your open house, you're going to make their life even easier. And you're just giving yourself a biggest surface level to be successful. So that's open houses. Now, the second thing I want to mention with open houses is not everybody's ready to go right now, but the scripting that you use can help you differentiate who is a looky-loo versus who is actually looking to make a move right now. So here's the easiest question you can ask at the very beginning of your open house in order to figure out who you're talking to. It's just as simple as, hey, how did you find us? Did you follow the signs or did you find us online? Now, if they found you online, they are a buyer for that house, and you can just assume that they're serious. If they said they followed the signs, they are either a looky-loo, but my red flag goes off that they are a neighbor. This is likely a seller that you can get a ton of information out and get a potential listing in the future. So when you ask the right questions the right way, you're going to get way more information. I would say pro tip number 2 on open houses, and this is something I did with a lot of success, and it's how I actually got my listings, was from doing the same open house over and over and over and over and over. What ended up happening was I knew that house better than the seller, better than the listing agent, and better than the person who farmed the neighborhood because I had met so many of the different neighbors. Hindsight, for me looking back, my very first listing was in a neighborhood. I did 2 different listings. I did open houses every single week for almost 3 months, and I knew probably 80% of the neighbors. I knew all kinds of background. I should have made that my farm. But anyway, that is step number 1, is get into doing open houses and do them correctly. I won't go through the full blueprint for this. I have this, I'll put the banner up somewhere, but we do have another video on that as well too. Now, this is where I'm going to transition for however you generate your clients. But if you're doing it through open houses like we just said, you're probably generating buyers. They're just simply easier to find. Now, you can take those buyers, and everybody wants to be a listing agent, but let's leverage this. Instead of being a listing agent, let's be a real estate agent. You find a buyer who is looking to buy a particular type of house. Let's say they're looking to move into this particular city, and they want a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot house for $1 million or whatever it is. And you can now take that buyer that wants to work with you, and you can go door knock and cold call sellers, or homeowners rather, who might want to move. And you don't have to ask them if they want to sell their home, and you can just simply tell them the truth. This is the best scripting ever, is when you're just telling the truth. Is imagine you knock on the door and say, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm a real estate agent, and I have a buyer that is desperate to get into this neighborhood. I'm sure you're not looking to move anytime soon, but do you know any of your neighbors who are, right? That's the easiest thing in the world you can do. This way, you can leverage every single buyer lead you get to try to get listings. This is actually how I got my very first deal as well too, which was a listing using this exact method. So this is a couple of different things. This allows you to be a real estate agent that can work with both buyers and sellers. On top of that, this makes you way more valuable to the buyers. Now, 99% of agents say, oh, I'll find you off-market properties, or I'll do this, or I'll do that, and they don't do anything. They put you on the MLS, and then they send properties, and they ask every Thursday if they follow up at all. They're asking, hey, do you want to see houses this weekend? Versus if you are going the extra mile and you say to all your clients, you say, hey, for all my clients who sign up for me as an exclusive client and get fully underwritten with a preferred lender, I will go ahead and door knock and cold call all of the areas that you want to move in, and I will do everything possible to find you that off-market property. That makes your value proposition way more valuable than every other agent that opens up doors and makes too much money. So that is how you can take your buyer leads from open houses and turn those into potential listings and convert buyers at a higher rate. Now, this takes me to my next point. So if you are already converting leads at a way higher level than every other agent out there, the next thing you can do is you can ask for referrals right away. Now, there's right away and then there's the right way. So what do I mean by right away? I made a massive mistake earlier in my career where I would wait until somebody was a past client before I would ask for a referral. And the reality is they didn't need me anymore at that point. They were done with the transaction, they were busy moving, and I'm sitting here asking for a 5-star review and a referral, and they're literally moved on and they don't need me anymore. So the transition here is that when you are inside of a transaction, when you're inside of a conversation, way before you even get to the transaction, ask for referrals, ask for a review. In the instant somebody says, you know what, Christian, you've been so helpful, I just really want you to know that I appreciate your hard work. That's the point where you ask for a testimonial. I do this with my agents all the time, is when we hear something like a case study, I will go ahead and say, hey, do you mind doing a testimonial for us? And we'll just pick up the camera and shoot a quick video testimonial and get it written form as well too. You can do the same thing with your customers as well too. Do not overthink this, just do it. Now, the next thing, this is step number 4. So so far we've talked about open houses and how you can generate buyers from that. Very simple, very easy. You literally just have to do it. Step number 2 is you can take those buyers you generate and you can find your listing opportunities. This makes you more valuable for buyers and it gives you way more surface area to do more deals, which is the whole point we're talking about. Step number 3 is to ask for referrals the entire way through the whole process. Now that brings us to step number 4, and this is something new that I have added. I wish I would have done this when I was selling. I didn't. Huge regret, so I constantly talk about this with our agents now. Your resume is on your phone, and it is your Instagram, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, and your Facebook. Your social media profiles is your resume. There is hardly anybody nowadays that does not look you up prior to doing business with you, especially a high ticket sale like we are here in real estate. So make sure you at least pass the sniff test, as I call it, where you want to make sure that if somebody Googles you and they see that you're actually an active real estate agent, I would say that's the bare minimum. At least do that. What I would highly recommend you doing is taking this approach of showing what it looks like to work with you before you would ever ask for a commitment. So it is very simple. You would just show your story. If you're a brand new agent, show that, lean into it and say, hey, this is what I'm doing every single day in order to get better at my craft so I can better serve my clients. If you are a super experienced agent, then lean into that as well too and show what you do for your clients. The reason that buyers and sellers have such a bad expectation or understanding of what real estate agents do is because all they ever see is real estate agents posting just listed and just sold. And what does that look like? It looks like, wow, that guy just made more money. That guy just made more money. That gal just made more money. As opposed to showing the story of the actual deal, or even better, the behind the scenes. There's way better information that actually happens outside of the deal from a content perspective than what happens inside of the deal. So that is step number 4, is to show your story. I would literally document what you do every single day and just put it on social media, and it does not have to be polished at all. That is step number 4. Step number 5 is you can shortcut this entire process by joining a team. I think if you are stuck, or if you're brand new and you're not doing anywhere near the business you want to do, or you're just doing a good amount of business and you don't want to take on additional risk to go higher. For example, a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of money on ads or on buying leads or on a farm or hiring people or whatever. So if you're in that position, this is why a team is incredibly important. Obviously, I'm biased here, but this is exactly why we designed our team the way we did. I was a solo producing agent, and what we ended up doing was we realized that I just needed to get in front of more people, and we were going to sell more houses. And then we hired an assistant around me and a transaction coordinator around me and a marketing person around me. And then we built out an inside sales team, all so that I could focus more on sales. And at the end of the day, not all teams are created equally, but that's exactly what we do for our agents. we try to take off as much from their plate as possible so that they can just focus on sales. When I say they, I mean our real estate agents. So what we do for our agents that would be on top of all of this, so this is the exact playbook I talk about with our agents here at Onyx Homes. Well, we also have relationships with Realtor.com and Zillow, and we get hundreds and hundreds of leads every single month from them. We also spend tens of thousands of dollars a month on ads all over the place that brings in hundreds and hundreds of leads there that our inside sales team live transfers between 50 and 100 leads to our agents every single month. And on top of that, we make tons and tons and tons of content. This is an agent facing video that we make, but also make consumer facing videos as well too, so that they can do one, they can use that content to help them convert and nurture the leads they already have. And two, we make that content to generate more leads for the business that runs through the inside sales team, and that flywheel keeps spinning. Before we even get into the steps on the recap, you just need to be in front of more people. Here's the blueprint that we recommend following. Number one, do your open houses and do them right. Number two, turn the buyer leads you get from your open houses and talk to sellers with those. Number three is ask for referrals at every step of the way. This is the always missed step, and just get over it and ask more often than not. Now, step number four is to show your story online so you at least pass that sniff test, but ideally so that you are converting and nurturing your clients you already have. And yes, you should be following your clients on social media. Step number five, if you want to expedite this entire process, join a team. This is why we have agents doing 20 deals in their first year, where most agents are lucky to do one or two. So I hope you found this valuable, and if you did and you're wondering about that open house blueprint, I'm going to have that video linked right here as well too. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.